Often we find ourselves in a state of being single. And it doesn't mean that you're just by yourself. It just means that you haven't met the person that you want to meet to spend life with. Single people tend to get a negative response or a negative view on things. But in actuality, if you're single and you're enjoying it, live your life to the fullest. You never know when Mr. Right or Miss Right comes along. You have to put yourself in position to be ready to handle a committed relationship. So you're not just being single and not getting yourself prepared to be a part of a couple. That's only if you want to pursue a relationship with someone. In this episode, the Relationship Therapy Podcast, we'll delve into an interview with a single female.
You've tuned into the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony Miller Sr., a podcast designed for couples who are married, couples who are dating, and have marriage in their future. We will guide you to the principles that will make your relationship better. Stick around. You might just learn something that will help your relationship last longer, grow stronger, and become healthier. Now, here's your host, Tony Miller Sr.
Hello, everybody. This is your host, Tony Miller Sr., and welcome to another episode of the Relationship Therapy Podcast. I'm excited about this episode because I have been listening to my listeners. I've been listening to the audience, and they have been demanding that I do more episodes with singles and talk about singles. So you stay on marriage too much, Tony. Let's talk about some singles and how they see things. So today, my special guest that I'm interviewing is my very own daughter, Shana Miller. How you doing today, Shana?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for asking. It's Friday, so looking forward to the weekend. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Listen, I thank you for being a part of this, being my first single to talk about life as a single and different questions like that. So you ready to hop in? We can get into it. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, since my listeners don't know you, I mean, some do, but most don't, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am the daughter of Tony Miller Sr., Mr. Relationship Therapy himself. I am single, of course, hence me being on the podcast. I am 27 years old. I'm an aunt of two. Career-wise, I do work in sales, and I currently live in Birmingham, Alabama. And a retired athlete. Played basketball for most of my life. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, good, good. And you said that part about being single, so that's why you're here.
Right.
So let's really jump into the questions. Here's the first question, and I think it's a easy question for you to answer. What three things are on your bucket list?
Three things that are on my bucket list. Um, the first one I would say is to write a book. Two, I would say zip lining, possibly. And three, I would say skydiving, but I've also done that during COVID 2020. So learn how to swim. That's I guess learn how to swim will be on my bucket list. That's something that's major. So yes, I
Okay,
think
learn
everything
how to
else
swim.
consists of water. So yeah, I would definitely learn how to swim before I do the other
Okay.
exotic bucket list.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. You said write a book. What would your book be about? And who would be your target audience?
That's a great question. So I haven't really thought that far into it. I've been wanting to write a book since 2020, but it would either be a toss up between like a autobiography. I do write poetry. So it'd be an autobiography or it'd be a poetry book. So maybe about love, people. As far as audience, I would say, people that are seeking love, been hurt before. So it's a mixture of everything, like not just one audience, not singles, not couples, but anyone who's interested in the topic of love, I guess.
Okay. All right. That's good. Um, what are your non-negotiables when it comes to a man? In other words, when they come into your life, what are certain no-nos that you will not have in that man? What are you not looking for?
What am I not looking for?
Yeah.
So my first non-negotiable, I will say, you can't smoke. That's a
Okay.
non-negotiable for me. If we need to get specific, smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, smoke tobacco, like any. I can't do it. I can't do the smell. I can't do the habit. So I guess that would be the first non-negotiable. Um, Number two, I think I have them out of order, but it's still a priority. You can't not have a relationship with God. That's definitely non-negotiable.
Okay.
For me. So spirituality is, a priority in my life. I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid. So not having a relationship with God, a personal relationship, is a non-negotiable for me as well. And then number three, that's tough. I would say not having the emotional intelligence, I guess, to like communicate. So I guess poor communication would be a non-negotiable
Okay.
for me as well.
Yeah. That's important. Communication is important. And if you've been listening to the podcast, and I hope you have, I talk a lot about
Yeah,
communication and lack
right.
thereof. And I got that communication piece from your mom because she's a talker, she's a communicator. And so I've learned that over the years that communication is very, very important. Well, let's move on to the next question. And this is kind of deep. Is it impossible to be friends with an ex?
This is a great question. Um, it's not impossible. It's definitely possible. I think it depends on the timing of like the breakup. I don't think it's something that can be right away. And the reason I say that is you kind of have to get used to, being single and the same things that you were anticipating, calling every day, texting every day. If you guys are friends, you kind of have to set some type of boundaries. Um, so I wouldn't say it's impossible, but me personally speaking on myself, I would need time away from the relationship before I can honestly say, hey, I'm now friends with my ex again. Like I would have to really heal from the relationship and be 100% over it before I try to rebuild a friendship with the guy.
Okay. All right. I like your answer. I like your answer, especially that part where you said create some boundaries. I
Right.
think that is important too. Good. I like the way you answered that. Um, Now, here's a couple oriented question. Do you think it's a good idea for couples to have access to each other's phones and social media?
That's a great question as well. So when you say access,
That
do you mean
means,
like passcodes, social
yeah,
media
they
passcodes?
can get in your phone, you can get in his phone, they can see your social media, you're not hiding anything. Like I don't like passcodes on my phone.
Mm, right. I discovered that a month ago.
But
So,
what you think about that?
so are you saying like, hey, you need to know my code and I need to know your code, or is it, hey, if you were able to get my phone and it's just idle, you can go through it like that?
Yeah. Do you think
Okay, yeah.
that's important? Do you think that's a good idea for couples to be able to do that?
I don't think it's important in the relationship, but I do think I don't know how to want to articulate this. I think it's important, but it's not really a deal breaker. Like I don't think you should know my passcode. I think it should be a point where, hey, if we're driving together or we're at a restaurant or hey, I step away and my phone rings, you should have access to just answer it, But hey, as far as just being able to just scroll my social media, my personal account, go through my direct messages and who I've been talking to, I think that's a bit extreme and a bit of possessive in a way. I don't think it's healthy. So I would say it's not a good idea, but it's also not a bad idea. So I think I'm in the middle. Like you should be able to pick up my phone, but it's not something where it should be a consistent thing. Like you're, hey, can I check your phone really quickly? Let me go through your messages or something like that.
Yeah. I told your mother when we started getting serious, I said, listen, I don't want you to go through my wallet. There wasn't a such thing as cell phones then, but I don't want you to go through my wallet, but I'll show you anything that's in there because I don't have
Okay.
anything to hide. But
Hide.
it is, to me, if you're strolling through my phone, or if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking through my wallet, I see it as not trusting me. Uh, just ask.
Right.
We're in a relationship. Ask, and
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I, let you see what you need to see. But that's tough because I think if I asked 100 people that question, we may break that down 50-50, and then there part two or part three of that question may totally be different. So I think I'm going to use that question again.
I like what you said. Just ask. So I think I can just like kind of rephrase my answer. I think it's an invasion of privacy if you just do it without my knowledge. Like you said, I think the foundation should be so solid that I trust you. Hey, pick up that, hey, I'm in the kitchen. Can you pick up the call? But if it's to the point you're scrolling and I have no knowledge of you scrolling through my phone, then yeah, it's an invasion of privacy. I don't think it's a good idea to have that access, that much access at least.
Okay. All right. Now, here's something for you personally.
Mm-hmm.
When you meet a new guy and you're interested in him, I mean, you see him and y'all are going on a date, maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 dates.
Mm-hmm.
What 3 things do you feel like you need to immediately tell him about you?
Immediately.
During those 3 to 4 dates, what are 3 things that you it's kind of automatic with you? I'm going to share this with them.
Well, in today's dating society, it is centered around light drinking and smoking. So I do go ahead and kind of disclose that, like, majority smokes. I would say that majority drinks, but I do disclose, hey, I'm not a smoker. I do socially drink from time to time, so I'll go ahead and disclose that. I also would just disclose I'm very family oriented, so family is very important to me. I'll talk about my parents, my brother, my nephews a lot. And maybe the fact that like I'm very driven when it comes to like the health and fitness industry, something I'm super passionate about. So I think those would be the top three
Okay.
that I would go ahead and disclose early on.
Yeah. Well, let me ask a follow-up to your answer based on your answer. What would
Hmm.
you need from him to know? What 2 to 3 things would you want him to divulge to you in those early few dates?
What do
What
I
do you,
need from him?
yeah, what would you like to hear? Like for example, I know I've spoken to a lot of singles who do not want to be a stepmother or stepfather. In other words, if they have a child, um,
Okay.
that kind of
Now,
turns them off. That's a non-negotiable for some.
yeah, that should have been number one on my list. I wish I could go back and redo that. Okay, so I would say if you said if he was explaining three things about himself,
Yeah, what
what
would
would
you
I
want to know about him? 2 to 3 things about him.
right off the bat? Okay, so right off the bat, as a single, what I would want to know 3 to 4 dates in, I would definitely want to know if you have kids
Okay.
or I guess a family. Like, do you have expecting kids or have kids? Would be number one. I would definitely want to know what you're doing, like career wise. Job, hey, entrepreneur, 9 to 5. What are you doing? as far as career. And then three, maybe like what you're passionate about, like kind of like with me, I'm passionate about fitness. Are you passionate about something else? Just hobbies, interests outside of your actual long-term career, like what, motivates you.
Yeah, that sounds good. I know when your mom and I were dating, I didn't realize I was doing this, but I interviewed her those first 3 or 4 dates. And I
Mm-hmm.
asked pertinent questions like what was her goals? What did she like or didn't like? What was her previous relationships like? Because that could kind of give you a glimpse of what it's going to be. Like if he answers and said, "Oh, she's something," and he's just downgrading her, that might
Mm-hmm.
give you a clue that, hey, I may not go no any further with him because of this. So that's good.
Right.
All right. Let's see here. What do you value most about being single?
What do I value most about being single? I would say my peace.
Your peace?
Yes, because the reason I say peace is because, depending on the relationship, you get wrapped into relationships somewhere along the line. Your peace may be compromised if it's a good relationship. I mean, if it's a bad relationship, if it's a good relationship, your peace is not so much compromised. But right now, as a single, I'm in control of my own peace. It's not kind of, depending on another person. Like if we're getting into an argument, my day or my mood has shifted due to me and my significant other having an argument. So I would say peace as number one. Two, what do I value the most as being a single? I don't know. That's really a great question. I would say the ability to maybe like be in control. And when I say that, I mean like I get to choose who I engage with. So I'm single. So if I, meet a guy today, um, we talk and something's off as far as the connection or the vibes, I have the control or the freedom to go ahead and cut it off based on, hey, me being single, I'm not tied to this person, and the following day I can get to know a new person. So I have control on who I can engage and continue to date, and I can control who I choose not to date from there. Three, as far as what I value about being single, I don't know. This is a really hard question. Value about being single. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck with three.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's good. Hey, I like your answers. I like your answers. Plus, I know you. So those are
Yeah.
your answers. Okay. Here's another personal question, and I'm very interested to see how you answer this one. And
Okay.
it's playing off of the previous question.
Okay.
Will your lifestyle change if you get into a committed relationship?
That's a great question. I don't think my lifestyle will change, but it can be easy to change. And the reason I'm saying that because I am guilty of putting, I guess, all my eggs in one basket when it comes to the routine of getting to know someone. Um, and you meet someone, it's butterflies, and you're just caught in the routine. Hey, we're going out. May not go to the gym that day due to us going out. So I would say it can change, but I have it to where I'm in control, and my lifestyle shouldn't change because I'm getting to know someone or dating someone. So I'm going to say no. I'm not going to let it change, but it can be something that can be changed if I allow it to.
Okay. All right. Um, if you see a good-looking man and you want to gain his attention, how would you go about gaining his attention?
I don't believe in doing that.
Oh, so you want to
Me.
be you want to be approached.
Yes, I really literally just had a conversation with one of my guy friends, maybe like 2 days ago, last night, or yeah, 2 nights ago. I believe like, hey, if you're good looking, I would just admire you from afar. I don't think I would just, get up to try to, make myself being seen. Like I said, I work out all the time. There's several men I see at the gym. We admire each other from afar. If it's just us looking at each other, that's all it's going to be. But I don't believe in being a woman and making the first move. I believe that a man should do that. So I wouldn't put myself out there. And if he makes the first move, then I would meet him halfway. But I'm not doing anything to gain a man's attention. That's just
Okay.
a
Now
personal opinion.
you do know that's old fashioned. That's unusual.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm an
unusual for
old
your age
soul.
group. Yeah.
For my age group, yes, it's definitely foreign.
Yeah. Because I've heard stories of young ladies and women just full out approaching. Here's my number. Give me a call and different
Yeah.
things like that. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
How do you describe being in a committed relationship? What is that like being in a committed relationship with you? Here's an example. Are you expecting a good morning text, a good night text, text or call during the day? What is that going to be like in a committed relationship with you?
I do expect like a good morning or good morning text or good morning call. I'm 27, so I do realize that, we're not at the age now where everyone's just kind of glued to their phone. So I'm not going to say we have to kind of like talk, text every hour of the day, but I would expect to, hear from you throughout the day as far as check-ins, communication. Hey, maybe what did you do for lunch or what are you doing on lunch? Let's go out for lunch. Um, a committed relationship beyond communication, I would say I'm adventurous, so I don't want to just sit at the house. So I would, like to explore different sceneries, depending on where we're at. So maybe like a movie night, like I do expect like date nights, even if it's like once out the week. It doesn't even have to be expensive, maybe a movie night at home, but I do expect that. Um, and I do expect, maybe like weekly check-ins about the relationship on a one-on-one basis. Like, hey, where do you feel like I'm lacking in this area when it comes to our relationship? What can I do better? And what am I doing that you actually like about this relationship that I need to continue? Um, just to kind of make sure, hey, we're doing our weekly check-ins and we're just not coasting through the relationship without neglecting, each other's emotional needs.
Okay. Well, that is some good answers that you've given me, Shauna. And again, I appreciate you kind of opening up yourself and answering these
Yeah.
questions. I think my listeners see that I listen, and I'm going to put my daughter out there on Front Street just to show them that I'm listening. And I've got some more interviews with a panel of young ladies in their early 20s to mid 20s just to see how they think about certain things. And
Mhm.
I want to do that because this part of the relationship therapy podcast, I started it because I wanted to make sure relationships got an opportunity to grow, become healthier, become stronger. But I understand that there's another segment out there in society called singles, and what they're looking for in a mate, a potential mate. What are their likes, dislikes, and things like that? So, again, I thank you, daughter, for being a part of this. Do you have any final closing remarks?
No, I do not, but I do want to thank you for, giving me the opportunity to be on your podcast. You've been asking for quite some time. I've been kind of pushing it off. But I feel like I can exhale now. You weren't super hard on me. But yeah, thank you for having me. I do want to say maybe the next time you have me, I'm not single. I can give you the other perspective in a relationship or, now. So we can cross our fingers on that. But yeah, I thank you for having me and I look forward to the next opportunity and, continue to listen to your episodes.
Well, I'm praying that the next time I interview you, I may be interviewing you with a partner. How about that?
Well, look, we better keep praying. I
Okay.
appreciate those prayers, okay?
All right. Thank you again. Hey, and audience, thank you. That's all we've got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learned some things along the way. And all I can say is please remember it does take two to make a relationship work. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony Miller Sr. We hope you have enjoyed this episode. Tune in next time for more insight on how to make your relationship better. If you have any questions, please email us at tmrelationshiptherapy@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, it takes two to make the relationship work.